Developing as we speak in Washington, a live look at the White House at this hour. We are continuing to monitor the latest movements in the 2024 presidential election. President Biden, as you know, is set to return to Washington, D.C. today after withdrawing from the race and isolating from COVID.
Vice President Kamala Harris now claiming she has the delegate support to make her the Democrats' nominee for the top spot. A virtual delegate count is expected in the first week of August, and then of course, there is the big challenge and the road that lies ahead.
Yeah, joining us this morning to talk about the next steps is Susan Johnson Cook. Susan is a Democratic strategist and president of the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce. Susan, good morning. Thank you so much for being with us on Morning on Merit Street. We're glad to have you.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. Your show.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you
Thanks,
so
Susan.
much. Well, you know, there is a growing number of voters who say, and also minority voters who say so much of politics has become focused on race that it's actually fueling division in many cases. What does Harris's political journey signify if we look beyond race, simply looking at her as a politician, as a woman who is making a mark in this political climate?
Well, the last 72 hours have demonstrated that whether it's race or not, they are behind her. And the Black community, both male and female, more than $2 million has been raised in the last 48 hours. And so the people are ready for a candidate who represents all of America, who's not divisive, and they find that in Kamala. She brings diversity just in her DNA. Asian American, African American. She has served in the office and is serving in the office. She's been prosecutorial. She's been from California. We have both coasts represented. So people feel that this is the unifying voice of the time. And we're excited about it. Mostly we're excited that President Biden has put his support behind her.
Susan, you were listing the attributes that many in the Democratic Party recognize, but let's talk about the other side, that her record was not enough to help her during the presidential primary run. In fact, she was one of the first to drop out in December 2019, just within a year of starting. So how does Harris now convince voters that her policies are right for them?
Well, she has the experience now in the White House, which was different than before, where she did drop out before the race. But now she's been vice president for 3.5 years. And so she's walked beside someone who's been in the main seat. And so she has new experience as vice president. She has to be positioned extremely well going forward. There was a little quietness, I would say, in her persona and her presence during the vice presidency. But now she's all in and people are all in with her. I can tell you that women, both of all races, have just kind of come behind her. And so they're talking about women winning with Kamala. So I think, her experience now is 3.5 years in the White House. And that adds a whole lot of creds to others who have not had that experience.
With that experience also comes the policies of the Biden-Harris campaign and administration. A lot of people, even Democratic analysts, are saying she's going to have to do something to embrace but maybe differentiate herself from those policies that have caused many from the Democratic Party to move independent, some even to join the Republican Party. So with that being said, some of those people who have been disenfranchised, who have said that those policies are not working for America, still, some of those may want to call for a contested convention. Do you foresee that happening, or is this a lock for Harris as she moves forward, even dealing with some of the policies right now currently?
So I think there are three things. I don't think that it is a lock necessarily. That's why it's a political process, it's a campaign. But what she has to do is not only show policies that differentiate her from Biden, but also differentiates her from Trump. Excuse me. And that's what we're going forward with. What makes her different? What makes her the candidate that stands out for America? Biden started with, fighting for the soul of America. She's going to have to show how the soul of America can be healed, because there has been division, there has been fragmentation, and people are frustrated. And finally, she's going to have to show up. I'm not just doing speeches, but she's going to have to show up in the places where people have felt marginalized and disenfranchised.
Well, one thing's for sure, the race is on. Susan, we appreciate your insight, your expertise this morning, and we do hope to have you back. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.